Hi everyone, my name is Joanna and I'm going to tell you about Mind Masters Emotional Education and Life Skills. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. When I started college, I wanted to be a child psychiatrist. I soon realized that it wasn't for me. Not only could I not hug the children that I worked with, I would not be able to talk to them outside of my office. I knew I wouldn't be able to carry the pain and hardship of others and not really be able to do something about it. I didn't like that the focus was on what is wrong and prescribing medication to fix the problem. I would rather help children find strength and motivation and focus on what is good. After I completed my associate's degree, I started teaching swim lessons and realized my love of teaching. I completed my teacher certification at Northeastern State University. After graduation, I put everything in storage and traveled for several months. Traveling the world changed my perception of life. I learned to trust myself, to be in the moment, and to appreciate all the wonder and beauty that life has to offer. I knew then that I wanted to do more than teach children how to pass a state test. I wanted to teach them how to live, how to be happy, and I want them to know that there is more to life than working and paying bills. I want them to be creators, makers, and innovative thinkers, to find motivation and inspiration in the things that they love, and to take charge of their learning and their achievements. So I started studying mindfulness and working on my vision of creating a curriculum to teach children life skills. I completed an online course through Mindful Schools in California. I did a curriculum program in Oakland, and I've spent the last 2 years doing private in-home lessons to put together this program called Mind Masters. So let me tell you a little bit about the program. The courses are divided into 4 6-week courses in which you can enroll in one at a time. The courses are scaffolded, building one on top of the other, as are the classes. You can enroll in the first course, and once it is completed, you may enroll in the second, so on and so forth. Because the classes build on each other, attendance for each class of the course is very important. However, in order to leave room for flexibility, you can enroll for each additional course at any time. For example, after Course 1, you can have a break before you enroll in Course 2. Course 1, Developing Mindful Awareness. Children will learn and practice focusing on their breath, awareness of their body, and metacognition, which is thinking about thinking. Awareness of thought is very important because it can make all the difference as to whether you are using your mind or your mind is using you. Our minds are like a computer. Sometimes you have to program them to work properly. I like to think of it like this. Pretend your mind is a garden and your thoughts are like seeds. You have the power to choose which thought seeds you plant in your garden. As you focus your attention on those thoughts, it grows. Our minds are hardwired as a survival mechanism to look for the negative. We look for things that could possibly go wrong or things that could harm us. So naturally, those are the things that our mind is going to notice first. So as we practice focusing our thoughts, which is like exercising our mind, we become aware of what our mind is doing, gain concentration, and the ability to hold our attention. We tend to spend most of our time thinking with our mind rather than observing or sensing the world around us. Overthinking can sometimes lead to depression, anxiety. So if you're able to notice the thoughts that you're having, then you can stop it before you have a spiral downwards. So here I would like to show you with one of my students, Chloe, how she notices her thoughts and how she labels them. You're going to do the mindful breathing and I will be the thoughts floating around. So what I have them do in their practice is that they notice their thoughts without attaching more thoughts to it. So when a thought floats by in their mind, they label it and let it keep on floating by like clouds in the sky. She is breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then a thought cloud floats by that says, if I don't make people happy, I can't be happy. And then she would label this
Worrying.
Breathing in, breathing out. I hope I don't fail this test. What if I didn't study enough?
Worrying.
And by observing thoughts such as these, she might notice she's placing her mind in the future and she's imagining things going wrong. So we have a very powerful imagination, and if we're going to imagine things, we might as well imagine them going well for us. So what are some things that you might choose to plant in your garden?
That I'm strong, that I can do things on my own, that I'm not afraid to accept help, that I'm beautiful, that I'm good at what I want to be good at, and that I can be good at.
The same concept works for emotions, which leads us into Course 2, Emotional Awareness and Response to Emotion, where we practice noticing how we feel and how different emotions feel in our body. We learn about response versus reaction. Mindfulness allows us time to think. When we create space between an emotion and our response to the emotion, we can choose how we respond. One of the most difficult emotions for us is anger. For me and one of my students, it's overwhelmment. Practicing mindfulness helps us to observe the emotion instead of become the emotion. To notice you feel angry and choose an appropriate response instead of becoming angry. The third course is goal setting and visualization, learning how to set appropriate, achievable goals and to determine the steps that it takes to achieve those goals. We practice and understand the importance of visualization. If we can see something in our mind, then we can achieve it. It is like if you can imagine it, then you can almost consider it done. Visualization is a great practice for our mind because our minds can't tell the difference between whether we are imagining it or really experiencing it. Try imagining a lemon. Try imagining taking a bite out of the lemon. Is your mouth watering? Course 4 is positive thinking, kindness to others, and self-esteem. We will practice positive affirmations, which, let me tell you the power of positive affirmations. One time a few years ago, I was really depressed, and all I did was make a list of how I wanted to feel and the things that I wanted to be doing, and I read it to myself every day, and before I knew it, I was happy and productive. Same thing goes for gratitude, another focal point in the course. When we train our minds to notice the things that we are thankful for, it gets our minds in the habit of noticing those things. So we become happier because we notice the things that make us feel good. So now I would like to let Chloe tell you a little bit about her experience. I've been working with her for 2 years and she has grown a lot. So here's what she has to say.
I was very secluded and I didn't really like leaving my room or talking to people or just doing really anything in general. And I was a perfectionist. Everything had to be this, like, absolutely right where it needed to be. And if it wasn't there, then I just would go insane and I just freak out and just wouldn't calm down for a long, long time. I wouldn't be able to talk in front of crowds or talk to people much at all. I wouldn't be able to order my own food. Just so many things that can come to mind that were just so bad that made me feel so bad about myself. But when I started doing Mind Masters, like Joanna said in the very beginning 2 years ago, I was kind of skeptical whether it would really help me or not, but I did have an open mind, which is a key thing to changing. I was okay with change, but I wasn't sure that it was going to happen. And then after she taught me to do these exercises, and I really did do them, it really did help me boost my confidence, and I really did feel like I had self-worth, and I could talk in front of crowds. Like recently, I had led an assembly with my whole school there, and everyone had their eyes on me. And I had panicked at the beginning, but then I started doing Joanna's practices that she had taught me, and I felt a lot better. And I went out there, and I talked in front of the whole school, and it was just very nerve-wracking, but I did it. So I changed, and I was willing to change, and Joanna. It was just very helpful.
If you are interested in getting signed up for the course, you can do so through the website, or you can download the MindBody app to your phone and search for Mind Masters. If it doesn't come up, make sure you check the mile radius and make sure that it is within your range. If you have any trouble or if you have any questions, feel free to call me or email me. Thank you so much for watching.